Yo. Hello, guys. This is David Capable in the building again. Today, we have a very intriguing and interesting topic before us as we continue with our analysis of the forex market. There is a very important tool which I'm bringing up to you guys today, and I want to take paramount notice about. This tool has been used by forex experts, and you can't do without this particular tool. This is because it is a tool which is actually used to navigate the direction of the forex market. Let me bring you back home once again to make you understand that the forex market is all about trading different currencies, exchanging diverse countries' currencies. While trying to trade the diverse currencies of these countries, you need to understand that there are some currencies that are major, and there are some that are minors, and there are some that are exotic. The major currencies actually are the most traded currencies in the forex market. So my focus today is going to be on a particular currency that is like a predominant major currency among the other major currencies. The currency I'm talking about is actually the most popular, widely accepted, and most used currency in the world. And that currency is none other than the US dollar. The United States dollar is the most dominant currency in the world. On a global scene, United dollar has been used as a bane for international trade. It's so popular, widely known, and widely used and accepted virtually in every part of the world. So understanding the US dollar will help you to navigate the forex market, because the global financial system rests upon the stability of the US dollar. I repeat, the global financial system rests heavily upon the stability of the US dollar. So the US dollar is a key world reserve currency. Now, today, to elaborate more on this particular US dollar, we need to see it by comparing it to other basket of major currencies. And this is what leads us to the topic today, known as the US dollar index. Okay? Now, the US dollar index. The US dollar index is a measure of the value of the US dollar relative to the basket of foreign currencies. I will put it this way: forex traders assess the value of the US dollar relative to a basket of other major currencies. The forex traders, what they do is that when they assess the value of the US dollar relatively to other major currencies, they can tell actually the direction of the forex market. Now, when you put the US dollar against other basket of foreign currencies, when we talk about basket of foreign currencies, we are talking about other major currencies. When you put them on a scale, you will discover that they rest heavily on the back of the US dollar to determine their direction. And this is why we are understudying the US dollar. It is like the US dollar serves like a beam, it serves like a back that carries other currency. Let me use that term so that you can really understand. So whatever direction the US dollar is going, it can play a role to determine the direction of the other major currencies. Now, what are the other major currencies that we're talking about here? We have the list here. We have the euro, which is 57.6%. Then we have the Japanese yen. We have the British pound. We have the Canadian dollar. We have the Swedish krona, and we have the Swiss franc. All this basket of foreign currency are usually used in relative to the value of the US dollar to determine the direction of the forex market. So now, how do you trade the US dollar index? Since the US dollar index has to do with the assessing the value of the US against this currency, how do you trade it? It's just simple. The US dollar index allows traders to monitor the value of the US dollar compared to a basket of selected currency or select currencies in a single transaction. If you have some currency paired against the US dollar, the weakness of that particular US dollar or the strength of that particular US dollar will determine the direction of the other currency the US dollar is paired with. Okay? The US dollar index actually will rise if the dollar is strengthened against these currencies, and it will fall if the US dollar weakens against these currencies, because the US dollar serves as a key indicator for the direction of the US dollar. I want you to keep in mind something, that the position of the US dollar in a particular pair that you are trading will determine if that particular pair is going to go down south, that is going to fall, or is going to go up north, or is going to be uptrend. I will just show you a very simple example before I show you the practical. For example, if the US dollar is strong, maybe is rising, okay, that the US dollar is rising, is getting bullish, or we discover that in the US dollar index shows us that the dollar is going to be rising and going up, and you are trading a particular pair. For example, here we have the euro USD. Do you know what happened to that particular pair? The US and the euro USD will now be on a downtrend. You know why it's on a downtrend? Because the euro will be falling. You understand? It will be falling because the US is on the cold side of the pair. You have the euro on the base side. We have the dollar on the cold side. And you had you check the market, and the dollar is rising. If the dollar is rising, that is the US dollar index is rising. What happens to this particular pair? Definitely the other one will be falling. So you will be selling the euro USD coin. What happens is that automatically you are selling the euro and you are buying the USD because it's one rising. One execution, but what complementary action? Opposite complementary actions. The US dollar is rising, but euro is falling because the US dollar is on the cold side. But if the US dollar is on the base side and we have a rising US dollar index, this is what happened. The US dollar will be on an uptrend because the US dollar is on the base currency side. Okay? So what you should understand, that if you hear the US dollar is falling, ask yourself in a particular pair, is this US dollar on the base side or is on the cold side? So if this US dollar is falling and is actually in this particular pair, euro USD, it means this euro USD we buying. But in the other side, where the US dollar is the base, it will be falling because it's on the base side. Very simple analogy. If it's actually rising, ask yourself, is the US dollar on the base side or on the code side? If it's actually on the base side, it means it will be rising. But if it's actually on the code side, it will be falling, like this scenario we see. So let's see it practically, how it applies, so that you get to understand how this works. So I'm actually going to my trading view right now. This is my trading view. So how do we see the US dollar index? The US dollar index can be found when you go to click on your trading view, go to your watch list, you go down, you look for DXY. The DXY here stands for US dollar currency index. That US dollar currency index tells you if this dollar is rising or the dollar is what? Falling. It's a very important tool. It tells you if the dollar is going to be rising or it's going to be falling. Like I told you, if the dollar is rising, that means it's going up. Check the pair you are trading. Look out for if the dollar is on the base side, look out for a buy. But if the dollar is actually on the code side of that particular pair you are trading, you are looking at what? For what? A sell. Because this US dollar index tells you how you should go trading your pairs. And look at it. I want to launch it right now. This thing determines if actually the kind of trader that you are, because some people trade on 15 minutes, some people trade on 1 hour and the rest. So we have intra traders, we have long time traders, we have swing traders, we have short time traders. Okay, let's say for example you are the person that trades on 15 minutes time frame. As you can see here, let me just do something here. I want to show you something. As you can see here, we can see that the US dollar is actually on the rise here. It's actually on an uptrend in 15 minutes time frame. What does that tell you? If the US dollar is on an uptrend here and you are trading maybe a particular pair, and that particular pair, let's say for example I'm trading let me look for a pair that has a US dollar in it. See, this one is on the rise. I go back to my watch list here, sorry. I go back to my watch list. I come to, let me look for a pair where that has the US dollar. Okay, I have USD, okay, Australian dollar versus the US dollar. I come here. What will happen in this particular trend is that you can see the US dollar is actually where? On the code side. What does that tell you? This particular currency, what will be falling? That's why you see it is on the downtrend. Remember, the US dollar was actually rising. The US dollar index showed us that the dollar is rising. And here we are not trading Australian dollar versus US dollar. But the US dollar is actually not on the base side. Since it's not on the base side, it means it has to be selling the Australian dollar so that it can automatically buy the US dollar. That is the opposite simultaneous operation that I was talking about previously. So this shows that what the Australian dollar versus US dollar is on the downtrend, because the US dollar is actually what? On the code side. But let's see where the US dollar is actually on the base side. You will discover that it will align with that US dollar currency index. Let's check. Okay, now I want to look for, okay, this is US dollar JPY. Let's click and see on that 15 minutes time frame. Maybe I'm using that 15 minutes. Can you see it's actually on the rise? This is because the US dollar is actually on the rise, and the US dollar is actually on the base side. So if the US dollar index shows you that there is going to be a rise to the dollar, please be very sensitive where your dollar is actually located in the pair you are trading. The location in the pair you are trading, where your dollar is located in the pair you are trading, will determine everything. Like we already saw in the DSY, that's our US dollar index, that the dollar is on the rise. What does that mean? You can see US dollar, which is the base currency here, is already also showing that it's on the rise. But where the US dollar was actually on the cold side, the other pair takes over. So that particular pair will be on the downside. So it's as simple as that. And the opposite also occur if the US dollar is actually also, if the US dollar index shows that the dollar is falling. If the US dollar showed us that it was falling, we could have been seeing a US dollar JPY on a downtrend, while the Australian US dollar will be what? On an uptrend. So this video is just to explain to you the importance of the US dollar index. Whenever you want trading a particular pair that has dollar in that period, please be mindful to always check your what? Your DXY. We call it DEXI. Yes, that's the abbreviation word, DEXI. DEXIE. So always check your DXY, that is your dollar index, to know if you are to buy the US dollar or you are to sell the US dollar. Thank you very much. I remain your boy, David Kapibu. Please keep subscribing to my channel as I dish out more secret. Thank you guys.